Hey, what's up, tribe? Welcome to Misho BTS, back at it with yet an awesome video. You know the vibes, you know how we do it. So today is on the 26th of May 2025, and I'm super grateful for this far that not only God has granted me for this yet an awesome opportunity, but for everything, for life, for health, and for grace that He has been able to shone upon me. Just as you can see, just got a fresh haircut and it's looking quite good. What's up, gang? What's up, family? Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the family. Back at it, doing it once more on the 26th of May 2025. We're pushing the boundary, keeping the consistency. The grind has to move on regardless, because we don't have time to waste and we can't afford to waste time. We don't have the laxity, we don't have the time and the opportunity to waste. We have to take every chance as it comes and make sure that we are able to make it productive, make it count, and get the most out of it. Today I just want to talk to you guys on how being able to put in the grind or putting in action and making sure that you actually make it a reality on the thoughts that you have, and avoiding mental masturbation is very necessary in actually being able to achieve your goal of whatever you want to achieve. Because most people, or most times, people tend to use motivation. Once they get motivation, they fall back and enter into a state of mental masturbation, whereby they are able to think about the things that they want to achieve, and they don't really actually follow up on what they had said to do, or they had the idea they had on actually making it come to life or come true. Hence, it ends up being mental masturbation and fantasy at the end of the day. But motivation is quite very helpful, and it's very important because it can push you. When you take action, motivation can push you very far ahead, and you can use that motive force that you have in being able to lay it as a basis for the action that you need to take. Rather, the situation for most people is always different and always the opposite. They get the motivation to do something, but instead of actually taking action and building on that motivation that they had prior, they enter into a state of mental masturbation. Hence, at the end of the day, they don't see any action, but in their mind, they have seen everything working out as planned. They have thought out through all the possible outcomes and the good things that can actually happen from that action or that goal being hit. But in reality, it's something totally different. You find that all they have done is have a mental masturbation of the good things and having achieved it in the brain, but putting it into reality, putting it into practice, there's nothing to show off. It's barely thoughts and barely fantasy. So the way to actually overcome this is to use that motivation that you had and use it as a fire to give you that energy, that need to follow up and to actually accomplish your goal, to make it come to life. So motivation is very essential. far as most people actually tend to downgrade motivation is is necessary, but it doesn't mean it's everything. It's just the first step, it's the first thought that comes to your mind and hits a certain dopamine that will eventually make you to take action. And so yeah, you need motivation. Motivation is just a part in the process. It's just a stage or a step in the long journey towards making that goal come to life. But there is each and every stage that needs to be checked and needs to be ticked in order to actually make things happen. And once you have that motivation, the next thing is you should be able to focus on the initial stage right after getting that motive force to eventually start. You have that inception stage whereby you are able to do the first thing, which is always, most of the time, it's the easier part. And once you do this, it sets the stage for the next thing, which is the next activity to do. So for example, you're trying to hit the gym and you have never hit the gym before. Your initial stage, or the step you should take right after getting that motivation, that adrenaline and that dopamine to go hit the gym, is not actually having that mental fantasy and mental masturbation of how good it can be, of all the possible good things that will happen and the goals and how fit you'll become. But rather, once you get that motive force, is to, for example, a very simple task, go and buy some gym shorts, some gym t-shirts, get some gloves, or whichever gym attire you want to buy, but one that fits in your budget. So you can start with a short, because it's very cheap. You can't find any excuse for buying that. It's barely $2. Once you get that and you buy that, it will give you cues of actually making that dream a reality, of hitting the gym. Because every time you see this short, it reminds you of the purpose why you bought it, the reason why you bought it. Hence, it will always click a certain nerve on your brain, and that nerve will eventually make you remember the purpose of buying that short. And this can be a trick applied not only to going to the gym, but also across all other platforms or all other ideas and goals that you have. Making that easy part and easy step first can push you and propel you further in actually being able to achieve all the other steps that need to be achieved as well. And it is very, very important, yet very simple. That's why most people overlook it. Most people don't see it as essential and as big as it is. And at the end of the day, they don't play it. And this will eventually lead you to being unmotivated towards achieving that task, because the next time you think of it, you might see it as a very grand thing and a big thing that you have to do. And this will create a narrative of it becoming a burden, rather than the good and the enthusiasm you had earlier will eventually fade off. So you need to always feed it, always make sure that you feed into that enthusiasm you have, and make it grow even larger each and every single day. And this, with time, you'll find it that even the hard tasks become easier, because as you go by, you are able to make the small steps and the small wins, which eventually in the long run will add up to be something huge, something great. And that has been my process, that has been my strategy all through, making sure that I'm able to tick the small wins, the daily small wins that in a week will eventually add up to be something big, something grand, and in a month and in a year it turns out to be an enormous task that you've actually achieved without really feeling the heavy weight, feeling the burden, just because you chose to take it step by step. So, and that is it. Employ the tactic. Let me know how it has worked. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell me what your goal is and the first initial steps of how you can be able to achieve it. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification button as well. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and by God's grace we'll be able to hit that milestone and even achieve even more greater milestones. See you on the next one. Love you guys.